All right, so get this. You know how water damage is a huge problem?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the restoration industry is going through a total revolution right now, and we're going to dive deep into how AI is changing the game.
It's wild.
So we're focusing on this article by Phill McGurk from the Cleaning and Restoration Science Institute.
Car side.
Yeah, Karsai. He's got some seriously insightful stuff to say about where this industry is headed.
It really does.
We're talking big changes driven by AI chatbots, automation, data-driven workflows, the whole 9 yards.
The whole thing.
And you're going to learn how this is already making a difference. But also what this means for you, whether you're a homeowner or thinking about a career in this field.
Because it's going to affect everyone.
And you know what? The human touch isn't going anywhere. In fact, it might be even more important than ever.
That's the thing.
We'll explain how that works.
It's pretty cool how it all comes together.
So first things first, McGurk hits us with this stat. 1 in 50 homes gets slammed with water damage every year.
Every year.
And the average claim is over $11,000.
11,000 bucks.
But here's a kicker. Water damage can go from bad to worse in just 24 hours.
I mean, just think about that.
Every minute counts,
Absolutely.
which is where AI comes in.
Right.
McGurk says some companies are using AI to slash response times by like 50% or more.
50% or more. That's huge.
Imagine your basement floods. Instead of waiting hours for help,
Right.
AI could get someone to your door twice as fast.
I mean, that could be the difference between a minor inconvenience
Yeah.
and a total disaster.
Exactly. And it's not just individual cases. Think about large-scale disasters like we saw in 2023, over 500 major flooding events.
Yeah, those are rough.
That kind of demand surge can totally overwhelm even the best restoration companies.
Oh, for sure.
So how do you even begin to handle that kind of chaos?
Well, that's where AI steps up again.
Oh, yeah.
Companies are using it to analyze weather patterns in real time.
You mean like predicting where the next flood's going to hit?
Exactly. It's like having a crystal ball for disaster response.
That's wild.
Yeah, and the results are pretty impressive. We're talking up to 40% faster deployment during major events.
So help arrives sooner
Yeah.
and resources are used more effectively.
Oh, yeah, much more effectively. In fact, we're seeing up to 35% improvement in resource allocation.
Okay, so that's got to make a huge difference for the bottom line.
Oh, definitely. And not just that, happier customers, too.
I mean, who wouldn't be thrilled with that kind of responsiveness in a crisis?
Nobody.
Exactly. Customer satisfaction jumps by like 45% when you've got these AI-powered systems in place.
It's a win-win for everyone.
Okay, so faster response times better resource allocation.
Yeah.
Happier customers. I'm sold on the efficiency side of things.
Good.
But what about the human element? I mean, part of what makes a great restoration company is that personal touch, right?
That's a great question. And that's actually where things get really interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
Because it's not just about replacing people with robots. It's about using AI to actually enhance that human connection.
Now I'm really intrigued. How does that work?
Well, think about it. Have you ever had to deal with those frustrating phone trees when you're calling customer
Oh,
service?
God. Don't even get me started.
Right. We all hate them. But AI-powered chatbots are changing that.
So instead of talking to a real person, I'm chatting with a robot.
Not a robot exactly, more like a really smart virtual assistant.
Interesting.
And here's the thing. People are actually responding really well to this. Companies using this tech are seeing customer satisfaction scores go up by 28%.
Seriously?
Seriously. It's all about convenience and speed.
So wait, are we saying goodbye to human interaction altogether?
Not at all. In fact, I'd argue that AI is actually helping us focus more on the human touch.
Okay, now you've really lost me.
Mm.
How can more technology lead to a more human experience?
Think of it this way. AI takes over the repetitive tasks. The scheduling, the data entry, the basic FAQs.
Gee.
This frees up restoration professionals to do what they do best. Provide expert advice, offer emotional support, and really connect with the customer on a personal level.
So it's like AI is handling the logistics, leaving humans to focus on the heart of the matter.
Exactly. And this isn't just theory. McGurk highlights how some companies are using AI-powered workflow optimization to actually give their crews more quality time with customers on site.
So instead of rushing through a job, they can actually take the time to explain things, address concerns, and really make sure the customer feels heard and understood.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot where technology enhances the human touch, not replaces it. And that's what McGurk believes will separate the winners from the losers in this new era of restoration.
Okay, this is all fascinating, but you mentioned winners and losers. Sounds a bit ominous. What's the bigger picture here?
Well, McGurk uses this really powerful phrase, revolution or extinction.
Revolution or extinction.
Wow.
Ugh.
He's saying that this isn't just a small tweak to the industry, it's a fundamental shift.
Mhm.
Companies that embrace AI and use it strategically will thrive. Those that don't, well, they might not be around for much longer.
Wow, that's a pretty stark choice. So it's not just about keeping up with the times, it's
Yeah.
about survival.
In a way, yes. The companies that are already incorporating AI are seeing a significant competitive edge. They're responding faster, operating more efficiently, and delivering a level of customer service that's simply not possible with traditional methods.
So what does this mean for the average homeowner? What should we be looking for when we're choosing a restoration company?
Great question, and it's one that McGurk directly addresses. He asks us to imagine our own basement flooding. Think about what you'd want in that moment.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Definitely not a fun scenario. I'd want someone who could get there fast, obviously,
Of course.
but also someone who could explain what's happening, reassure me that everything's going to be okay, and basically just guide me through the whole process.
Exactly. You'd want expertise and efficiency, but also empathy and understanding.
So it's not just about the gadgets and gizmos. It's about how those tools are used to enhance the human element of the experience.
Precisely. And that leads us to another fascinating point that McGurk makes about the future of this industry.
Okay, I'm all ears. What else does McGurk have in store for us?
Well, he draws these really interesting parallels between the restoration industry and other sectors that are being transformed by AI, like transportation and delivery.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about automation and streamlining processes.
So you're saying the future of restoration might look a lot like ordering a pizza on your phone?
hmm
You submit your request and a self-driving robot shows up in your door with a solution?
Well, maybe not with a pizza, but the concept is similar. Imagine calling in your restoration needs, and an AI-driven system handles the rest. It dispatches autonomous vehicles equipped with all the necessary tools and even remotely controlled equipment to handle the job.
Wow, that sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie. Are we really that close to this kind of future?
That's the million-dollar question.
Mhm.
But McGurk makes a crucial point. The companies that will thrive in this rapidly evolving landscape are the ones that embrace these technological advancements now, rather than waiting until they're forced to play catch-up.
So it's about being proactive and staying ahead of the curve.
Exactly. And there's data to back this up. A recent McKinsey study cited by McGurk found that restoration businesses that have already integrated AI automation and data-driven workflows are seeing significant improvements in productivity and reductions in operating costs.
That's a pretty compelling argument for getting on board with this new wave of technology.
It certainly is. But even in this high-tech future, McGurk emphasizes that human expertise will always be paramount. While AI might handle the initial intake dispatch and even some on-site tasks, the need for skilled, empathetic technicians will remain.
So it's not a question of humans versus machines, but rather finding the right synergy between the two.
Precisely. Customers will always value that personal touch, that human connection, especially when facing a stressful situation like property damage.
It's about having someone who can not only fix the problem, but also understand the emotional impact and provide reassurance.
Exactly. And McGurk believes that the most successful restoration companies of the future will be those who can seamlessly blend cutting-edge technology with the warmth and expertise of their teams.
It's about using AI and automation to enhance the human touch, not to replace it.
Well said. And this brings us to McGurk's ultimate point, the bottom line of this entire discussion. He calls it revolution or extinction.
Ooh, that sounds dramatic. What exactly does he mean by that?
He's highlighting the fact that the restoration industry is facing a pivotal moment, a complete metamorphosis that will redefine the very nature of this essential service. While technology is opening up incredible new possibilities, the path to true success still hinges on an unwavering commitment to human expertise and exceptional customer care.
So it's about finding that delicate balance between embracing innovation and staying true to the core values that have always defined this industry.
Precisely. And McGurk brings this point home with a powerful reminder. He asks us to think back to our last client whose basement flooded.
That's a vivid image. It's easy to get lost in the abstract discussion of technology, but this brings it back to the human reality.
Exactly. He reminds us that it's not just a water damage case, but a family in crisis, precious memories at risk, and a desperate call for help.
It's a stark reminder that behind every claim, there are real people facing real challenges.
And that's where the true measure of excellence lies. It's about going beyond simply fixing the problem. It's about providing empathy, understanding, and a genuine desire to help people get their lives back on track.
It's about using technology as a tool to amplify our compassion, and our ability to make a positive impact.
Beautifully put. And that leads us to McGurk's final challenge. He asks, are you ready to be part of this restoration revolution?
That's a powerful question. It's not just about adopting new technologies, but about embracing a new way of thinking, a new way of approaching this industry.
Exactly. It's about seeing this moment not as a threat, but as an opportunity to redefine what it means to provide exceptional restoration services.
It's about shaping the future of this industry in a way that benefits both businesses and the customers they serve.
Precisely. And that's a challenge worth embracing. So what do you think? Are you ready to join the revolution?
I'm definitely feeling inspired, but I'm curious to hear what our listeners think. What are your takeaways from all of this? Do you see AI as a friend or foe in the world of restoration?
And what role do you think technology should play in shaping the future of this industry? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's continue this conversation online and see where this deep dive takes us next.
You know, it's fascinating to think about how this is playing out, not just in restoration, but across so many industries.
Yeah, it really does feel like we're at this tipping point where AI is going mainstream. But what makes the restoration industry unique in how it's adapting to this whole tech wave?
Well, as McGurk points out, restoration is inherently a human-centric field. It's about helping people in moments of crisis, often when their homes and lives have been totally turned upside down.
Yeah, that's a really important point. It's not just about, fixing a leaky pipe. It's about restoring a sense of normalcy and security for people.
Exactly, and that's why the integration of AI has to be done so thoughtfully and ethically. It's not about replacing human compassion with cold, hard algorithms. So how do you strike that balance?
Yeah.
How do you ensure that AI enhances the human touch rather than diminishing it?
Well, McGurk suggests that the key lies in focusing on tasks where AI really excels. Things like data analysis, pattern recognition, and process optimization.
So let AI crunch the numbers and handle the logistics, while humans focus on building relationships and providing that personalized care that's so crucial in this industry.
Exactly. For example, AI can analyze vast amounts of data to identify trends and predict potential problems before they even occur.
Wow.
This allows restoration companies to be more proactive, preventing damage rather than just reacting to it.
That's incredible. It's like having a virtual crystal ball that helps you anticipate and avoid disaster.
Right. And on the customer service side, AI-powered chatbots can be incredibly helpful for answering common questions, scheduling appointments, and providing updates on the restoration process.
Hmm.
This frees up human staff to focus on more complex issues and provide personalized support when it's needed most.
It sounds like AI is acting as a sort of force multiplier, allowing restoration companies to do more with less and ultimately provide a better experience for their customers.
That's the idea. But McGurk also cautions against falling into the trap of thinking that technology is a silver bullet.
Right.
He emphasizes that the human element, empathy, critical thinking, and the ability to adapt to unexpected situations will always be essential in this field.
So it's not about blindly handing over the reins to AI, but rather about finding the right synergy between human intelligence and artificial intelligence.
Precisely. And that's what makes this moment so exciting. We're witnessing the birth of a new era in restoration, one where technology empowers humans to work smarter, not harder, and ultimately deliver a level of service that was unimaginable just a few years ago.
So McGurk calls this a revolution, but what does that actually look like on the ground? Could you give us some concrete examples of how AI is already changing the game in restoration?
Absolutely. One area where we're seeing significant innovation is in damage assessment. Traditionally, this has been a very manual process relying heavily on visual inspections and human judgment.
Yeah.
But with AI, we can now use drones and other imaging technologies to capture detailed 3D models of damaged structures.
So instead of relying on a technician to, climb around a flooded attic or a fire-damaged roof, you can send in a drone to create a digital replica of the entire scene.
Exactly. And these 3D models can then be analyzed by AI algorithms to identify structural damage, estimate repair costs, and even suggest the best course of action.
Wow.
This not only speeds up the assessment process, but also improves accuracy and consistency.
Yeah, I imagine that's a huge benefit for insurance companies as well, providing them with more reliable data to process claims more efficiently.
Absolutely. AI is streamlining the entire claims process from initial assessment to a final payout. And for homeowners, it means getting their lives back on track faster and with less hassle.
So AI is clearly transforming the front end of the restoration process. But what about the actual work itself? The cleaning, drying, and rebuilding. Is there a role for AI there as well?
Yeah. Absolutely. We're seeing the emergence of intelligent equipment that can automate many of the tasks traditionally performed by human technicians.
Okay.
For example, there are now robotic floor scrubbers that can navigate complex environments, avoiding obstacles and cleaning large areas autonomously.
So instead of a team of people manually scrubbing floors, you could have a robot doing the heavy lifting.
Exactly. And these robots are equipped with sensors and AI algorithms that allow them to optimize cleaning patterns, adjust water flow and pressure based on the type of surface, and even detect areas that require additional attention.
It's like having a team of tireless, highly efficient cleaning experts working around the clock.
Right, and the benefits go beyond just efficiency.
Okay.
These robots can also access hard-to-reach areas, operate in hazardous environments, and even collect data that can be used to improve future cleaning protocols.
It seems like AI is taking on more and more of the heavy lifting in the restoration process, freeing up human workers to focus on tasks that require their unique skills and expertise.
That's the trend we're seeing, and it's leading to a redefinition of what it means to be a restoration professional. In the future, success in this industry will hinge less on physical labor and more on cognitive skills like problem-solving, critical thinking, and adaptability.
So the restoration technician of the future might be more like a conductor overseeing a team of AI-powered robots and machines, ensuring that everything runs smoothly and that the human touch is never lost in the process.
That's a great analogy, and it speaks to the larger point that McGurk makes about the importance of embracing lifelong learning and developing new skills in this rapidly evolving industry.
So it's not just about learning how to operate new technologies, but also about understanding how to leverage those technologies to enhance human capabilities and deliver a truly exceptional customer experience.
Exactly. The future of restoration belongs to those who are willing to adapt, to learn, and to push the boundaries of what's possible.
This has been incredibly insightful, but I have to ask, what about the folks who are feeling a bit apprehensive about all this change? What would you say to them?
I understand that apprehension, but I think it's important to remember that technology itself is neither good nor bad. It's a tool, and it's up to us to decide how we use it.
So instead of fearing the unknown, we should see this as an opportunity to shape the future of the industry in a way that benefits both businesses and the people they serve.
Absolutely. And I think the key to navigating this transition successfully lies in open communication and collaboration. We need to have honest conversations about the potential benefits and challenges of AI and work together to ensure that it's implemented responsibly and ethically.
That's a powerful message, and it leads us to the crux of McGurk's argument, this idea of revolution or extinction. He seems to believe that the restoration industry is at a crossroads, facing a choice between embracing innovation or being left behind.
Exactly. And while the term extinction might sound a bit dramatic, I think it underscores the urgency of this moment. The companies that are willing to adapt, to invest in new technologies and training, and to rethink their approach to customer service will be the ones who thrive in this new era of restoration.
So for those listening who are part of the restoration industry, what are some key takeaways they can implement right now?
Well, I think the first step is to start educating yourself about the potential of AI and how it's already being used in restoration. There are numerous resources available online and through industry associations like CARSI.
And beyond education, what are some practical steps companies can take to integrate AI into their operations?
Start small. Don't try to do everything at once.
Okay.
Identify a specific area where AI could make a real difference, whether it's customer service damage assessment or workflow optimization.
So maybe start with implementing a chatbot to handle basic inquiries or using AI-powered software to analyze job site photos for damage assessment.
Exactly. And as you gain experience and confidence, you can gradually expand your use of AI, always remembering to keep the human element at the forefront.
This is fantastic advice, but what about the homeowners out there? What role do they play in this technological revolution?
Homeowners have a crucial role to play as well. By understanding the potential of AI and advocating for its responsible use in the restoration industry, they can help shape a future where technology enhances the human touch rather than diminishing it.
So it's about being informed consumers, asking the right questions, and demanding a level of service that reflects the best of both worlds, technological innovation and human compassion.
Exactly. The future of restoration is a collaborative effort, and it's up to all of us to ensure that it's a future where technology serves humanity, not the other way around.
Well said. And that brings us back to McGurk's final challenge. Are you ready to be part of this restoration revolution? It's a question worth pondering both for those within the industry and those who rely on its vital services.
And as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'd like to leave our listeners with one final thought. The revolution that McGurk describes is not just about technology. It's about a fundamental shift in mindset. It's about embracing change, challenging assumptions, and constantly seeking new and better ways to serve our customers.
I love that. It's about using technology as a catalyst for innovation, not just in the way we work, but also in the way we think about the very nature of the restoration industry and its role in society.
And that, I believe, is a revolution worth fighting for.
You know, it's kind of crazy how McGurk paints this picture of the future that's both super high-tech and still, like, deeply human.
It is, isn't it?
It's not about getting rid of one for the other, but finding that balance where they can kind of work together, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes you think about what good service even means in this age of AI.
Right.
Is it instant responses and robotic efficiency?
Right.
Or is it about something deeper, something more human?
I think it has to be both.
Right.
We want the convenience and the speed that technology gives us,
Right.
but we also need that reassurance, that understanding that only another person can really provide.
Especially when you're dealing with a crisis like
Yeah.
flooded basements.
Exactly. Imagine your basement floods, and within minutes, a chatbot's assessed the damage, scheduled it. A crew even sent you a personalized playlist to help you de-stress while you wait.
Right.
It's efficient, sure,
Hmm.
but does it really feel supportive?
Yeah. Does it feel like somebody's got your back?
It might lack that human touch, you know?
Yeah.
The empathy of someone who understands what you're going through, who can offer a comforting word, or even just a look, you know?
Exactly. And that's where McGurk's vision is so interesting. He sees AI as a way to amplify those human qualities, not replace them.
I like that.
So imagine that same scenario, but now, while the AI is handling the logistics, a human technician calls you and says, "Hey, I'm on my way, and I know this is tough. Anything you need right now."
Well, that changes everything.
It does, doesn't it?
Suddenly, it's not just a transaction, it's a human connection.
Exactly. And that's what's so inspiring about this whole conversation. We're not just talking about robots and algorithms. We're talking about using those tools to create a more human-centered experience.
So it's not about AI taking over, but about humans taking control of AI and using it to deliver a level of care and service that was previously unimaginable.
Exactly. And that's where the revolution comes in. It's not just about adopting new technologies. It's about fundamentally shifting our mindset, about embracing this opportunity to redefine what's possible in the restoration industry.
It's a revolution that requires both, technological innovation
Right.
and renewed focus on human connection,
Yes.
on those qualities that make us uniquely capable of understanding and responding to the needs of other people.
Well said. And I think McGurk's challenge, "Are you ready to be part of this restoration revolution?" applies to all of us, not just those in the industry.
Yeah.
As consumers, we have a role to play in shaping this future by supporting companies that prioritize the human touch, by demanding more from our service providers, and by remembering that even in the age of AI, it's the human connections that truly matter.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the future of restoration,
Yeah.
I'm left with a sense of excitement and responsibility. Excitement about the potential of AI to make our lives easier and more resilient, but also a responsibility to make sure that we use this incredibly powerful technology in a way that serves humanity,
Right.
not the other way around.
I couldn't agree more. This is a conversation that needs to continue, and we want you to join us in exploring this intersection of AI and humanity, not just in restoration, but in every aspect of our lives.
So tell us, what are your thoughts? How do you see AI shaping the future? And what role do you think will play in this rapidly evolving landscape? Share your insights, your hopes, your concerns. Let's keep this conversation going because the future is being written right now, and we all have a voice in how that story unfolds.